Hello YouTube, it is June 5th, 2019. I know it's been a minute since we done one of these style videos where I just talk off the riff. But I want to bring up a subject that I did not know was still affecting people um, ignorantly. So I should have known that out of 7 years they were still doing this. I mean, we just passed a federal amendment that, ban discrimination in the workplace for people with my type of hair. Y'all know my hair is type 4, predominantly 4A. Some sections are like a 3C. Like it doesn't take much. Like if I was to wash my hair and let it curl, some sections are more like this, but the rest I have to twist it out. But still, the fact that we're still dealing with texturism and hair discrimination within schools is just getting ridiculous at this point, and it ties into the subject along with dress attire when it comes to graduation. I'm actually going to do a little bit of soapbox with this because I was personally affected by this during my graduation at E. E. Smith High School in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I don't mind putting them on blast. No shade to Miss Chalmers. You was brand new when she was the assistant principal, but she was the brand new principal when I was dealing with this. I'm sure if this was brought to her attention, she would have nipped it in the bud. I'm sure nobody's really dealing with this at my school at this point in time. But back under Mr. Robinson's dominant rule and just throughout Cumberland County and North Carolina and nationwide, I'm noticing that this is becoming an epidemic that needs to stop. So we're going to go into we're going to do a combination of dress attire and hair discrimination and how it plays a part. So what brought this subject on is I seen on News 14, and this actually happened to a white girl. So it goes far beyond race as well, but predominantly it happens with us. It was a white girl who was dressed in a suit for graduation as opposed to a dress that wasn't a problem. The thing is, she had Converses on, and they are somewhat similar to my shoes, where they're not necessarily professional attire, but they're not like sneakers either. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and zoom down on my shoes real quick. Like they're this type of attire right here. Like they're not sneakers, but they're not necessarily professional. And I'm like, a little bit open ended, but they didn't let her walk down the aisle. And I'm like, really? This is just the upteen time. So to go back to my darn own story, okay, I'm back in focus. So to go back to my story, 2012, y'all all know my battle with cancer and all that. Y'all know my battle with Crohn's disease. All of that was going on around the time that a teacher had it out for me. It was my English teacher. It was the only class that I ever failed, which I truly never felt because I did all the work that I was able to do. Y'all know with me being out for treatment upwards of 2 to 3 days a week, I was never in school a full day throughout my whole senior year of high school. Out of 180 days, I was only in class maybe 90, but I was still able to get my work through. I just couldn't participate in class. Y'all know I was doped up on so many medications. Going through the treatments, a shortwave radiation, going through, also going from this doctor, my oncologist to my gastroenterologist to my endocrinologist, to my general practitioner, then being rushed to the hospital. I even passed out a couple times at school, and one time I was so unresponsive, I was knocked out unconscious, and this is the first time I've ever, I think I've told this on YouTube. I walked to school and I just literally passed out. Couldn't barely. Now, fortunately, I'm trying to keep up the facade of nobody finding out about the diagnosis. Everybody, I couldn't keep I couldn't keep my Crohn's disease under control. But I said no, I don't want nobody knowing that I'm dealing with the cancer as well. But it was one person that did find out, and I think a couple others. But I definitely knew one person knew it because she battled it last year, and so she was recognizing the symptoms. And one day I came in, I was 2 minutes past the bell, and She was letting me slide with signing because she was already up on game. She already knew with the rapid rate loss, the fact that my skin was darkened. My skin was a little bit toasty in certain sections. My hair was significantly thinning out. Like she knew that it wouldn't hurt. My symptoms wasn't just related to Crohn's disease. I passed flat out, was unresponsive. They rushed me to the hospital and everything else. Took a whirl of darn on excuses away. I had to darn on blame it on my medication, which was partially true because I was darn on up on prednisone, Percocets, and everything else during that time frame. So being on so many medications, I was able to easily excuse that away. But needless to say, I held on to my hair. And you can understand, a person who done went through that. Whether even if you didn't have cancer, just going through lupus, or people who suffer from hair loss in general, the hair, we don't try to associate with the crown and glory. But the fact that I was able to hold on to as much hair that I had, and I was able to grow my hair back real quickly, as much as 3 inches in 1 month when I was on Hair Affinity. Done survived the haircut. Darn barber had it out for me. They cut my shit up. I was able to still grow it down to 10 inches by graduation. And I was planning on flat ironing it. But the fact that somebody had to call me out on that, I was flat ironing my hair on my own accord. But the fact that you felt the need to ask me what I'm going to do with my nappy hair, I need to cut my hair, it's just so fucking disrespectful. And it's not just, with me and my background, because like I said, you still don't know what anybody's going through. Like that person who said that comment to me in the guidance counselor office didn't know that, I just overcame cancer. She didn't know that I was battling. Well, they knew about the Crohn's disease, but they didn't know about the extent of what Crohn's disease have on the hair, because Crohn's disease wasn't as spoken about back then as it is right now. So people didn't know about the fact that you can suffer from hair loss from Crohn's disease as well. And especially, like I said, I was on prednisone, I was on oxycontin, I was on Percocets, going through the treatments and everything else. But just for you to still feel bold that they're gonna say my hair is nappy and that I need to cut my shit off. But then there's a Latina who has my same length of hair at the time, but it's like a 3A, 3B texture. And he actually wore his hair out on graduation day. Didn't have it confined or nothing. So it wasn't due to the fact that my hair grew out. It was darn on the fact that it was kinky. And that 9 times out of 10, when it comes to texture discrimination, it's always a black person. Because when we go to Native Americans, such as my Lumbee sisters who have curly hair, they don't have kinky hair like me. They have like 3A, 3B texture. When you have a Latina, you have curly hair for the most part. When you have a mixed race person, the standard go-to is like a 3A, 3B curl pattern. But dominantly black people in America have type 4 hair. It may not be necessarily loose as my, some more kinkier, 4C. But all of us are in that type 4 category. And we always get the brunt end of texturism when it comes to this. And I'm so sick or tired of the fact that we're in 2019 and we're still having people getting their dreadlocks cut off. And I didn't understand that with the person on the darn team getting his dreadlocks cut, as opposed to why you had to cut it all the way up. You could have just cut a few inches off or just set them down. But then when it came to graduation, they put you in that same predicament. They put you in the same predicament where it's like your hairstyle is seen unkept, unprofessional. It is unbecoming, even though your hair is how it is growing out your scalp. It's your cultural style. Now, they don't mind this person having you saying my hair is unprofessional. You got somebody with full-on pink and blue hair, but because it's straight, it's okay. You got this person whose hair grow out in the afro, but because it's curly, it's okay. But all of a sudden, there's a goalpost move, and now my hair is too nappy and it's too out because it's type 4. Because I don't see as many people with curly hair facing this. I'm not saying that a lot of curly black hair girls don't face this, but it's definitely not to the same extent as darn on people with type 4 who have kinky coily texture hair. So that's the first thing I want to see change. There needs to be some legislation that bans darn on texture discrimination within the schoolhouse in general. It shouldn't matter as long as the damn cap fit on your head. It doesn't matter, especially with my head. With me, I suffer from hair loss in the thinning, so it can fit. But if you are fortunate enough to have a head full of afro right here and it still fits securely, but it's just elevated, it shouldn't matter. If you have dreadlocks, as long as your cap ain't off or to the side or anything like that, it shouldn't matter. I'm tired of this. I want to see some legislation pushed where it bans discrimination on predominantly black hairstyles, where we feel the need to have to conform, where we have to flat iron our hair against our will. Like I said, I chose the flat iron mine because I wanted to see what my hair looked like flat iron for the first time after finally growing out, after overcoming all this hair loss with my treatments and stuff, and it was just thriving off the hair affinity. But that was my choice, though. But for people who choose to still keep their afros out, they should have that option. They shouldn't have to feel the need to darn on have to flat iron it, put a relaxer in it, or for us, guys, they have to cut it. That's some bullshit. So that's my thing is when it comes to natural hair. I want the first part of a bill to be proposed where you can't discriminate on dreadlocks. It's like even if you have long dreadlocks, there's so many styles you can do with dreadlocks other than, the only thing you can't do is flat iron it. You can darn gonna put them in bantu knots, you can do a bun, half down, so many different ways where it can conform to have the graduation cap on top of your head. You shouldn't darn gonna be trying to go be quick and be Edward Scissorhands for somebody with darn gone dreadlocks in their head. That is more likely black. But then when you have Goldilocks, who has a abundance of type 2C hair, you ain't quick darn gonna go and try to darn gonna snip her hair, and yet her hair is just as frizzy and it grows outwards. But because her hair is deemed more European, Aphrodite, as opposed to darn gone what's an African dainty with Afro? I can't think of one, but as opposed to like an African dainty, because it's more seen like a Greek dainty, it is no problem with the white sister, but it's a problem with the black sister. I don't like that double standard, and I want that to change. So we've already pushed it forth as far as in the workplace, and that's what school is for, to get us prepared for the workplace. What does it look like that you're still practicing in darn on archaic racism in the darn on schoolhouse? And I don't want to hear nothing about no motherfucking training. You can't train no racism out of it. Only thing you can do is force the change. So I don't want to hear about, oh, we need re-educate, because that's the thing that they go to when it comes to shit like this. Oh, well, teachers just need re-education and officers need retraining. It's like, no, bitch. This is simple stuff that you supposed to learn in kindergarten through the second grade. You're supposed to learn natural people skills as early as the darn gone kindergarten, not to discriminate against anybody based off of, different features with their noses being wider, lips being fuller, skin tone might be different than yours, hair might be different, might be of a different religion, might be of a different background. One parent's deceased. You got two mamas, you got two daddies, and no, it's not always LGBT. Mama broke up with the biological father. She done moved on, but the other father's still in the life. So you got people who have two daddies in that situation. You supposed to respect everybody's background. Whether it's two gay parents with a child, or whether that baby has two fathers, and the biological father still in the life along with the stepdad. This is shit that you learn in kindergarten. So the same thing applies to the hair. Leave our hair alone. As long as it fits under the damn cap, stop darn on trying to make me motherfucking conform. Now let's get into the darn on attire. Now this is the second thing that pissed me the fuck off. I got all the way to that motherfucking rehearsal. I was there every single darn on day. Pain and all. Even a couple days I had a chronic flare-up. I was still there. Darn gone face a little bit puffy. Nobody didn't know it. Hell, most people darn gone knows my weight loss more than anything. I lost 30 pounds within 2 months. I darn gone snatch back exercising 5 days a week, change my diet around and everything to offset the darn gone weight gain I had from my prednisone. So they didn't even notice the little bit of puffiness in my darn on face, because hell, they was so used to me to being a little bit puffy any damn way from gaining all this damn weight. So with this darn on, I made it all the way to graduation, and the restriction was that you had to be in a suit and tie. Women had to be in a plain black dress, no other color. Now mind you, nobody gets to see what's underneath there. You would think that we're doing some sort of darn on gathering afterwards where we have to take off our caps and gowns and people see underneath. No, you could literally have a thong and a bikini on underneath and nobody wouldn't see. But we're going to get to that in a moment. But they still force you to dress up as if you was going to a formal dinner, which I think is fucking ridiculous. Nobody ever sees what's underneath. Like when I tell you your cap and gown is all the way to your shoes, like people barely would be able to tell you, see what shoes you were wearing. So I didn't even understand if she had regular Converses on, like such as myself. Nobody's even really paying attention to that hard. It's not like she had some bright color darn on Kevin Durant's on. I can see if she had some red Jordans or something, but she had black shoes that just happened to be Converses. It wasn't even clockable as sneakers. And like I said, with everybody walking in unison, who the hell is looking down to see the one person wearing Converse? It's like, really? And even if they did, what fuck does it matter? My thing is, when it comes to what's underneath the gown, as long as you're dressed, because I always say if something tragic did happen, such as somebody step on your gown and it happens to rip, you don't want to be seen awkward underneath. And I think the restriction on that should just be, you should be dressed as if you was in school. You don't have to be dressed up in no suit. You don't have to be dressed up in a dress, because we're not doing anything of that form that would warrant that anyway. If somebody was to accidentally rip your darn gown off, what's underneath should be as appropriate as if you was in school. So if you had regular jeans on and a shirt, it shouldn't have mattered. And you know the same rule applies. No racial profanity, no strong political messages, no grotesque images, nothing explicit, no gang signs, all of that. Shorts, you know, the 4-inch rule. If it's above 4 inches of the knee for either male or female, it's unallowed. Because you don't want, and also too tight. You don't want to see no camel toe nor no eggplant. We don't want to see no booty meat. If you're wearing skinny jeans, okay. If you're wearing, you know, leggings, that's a no. Once again, no booty meat, no eggplant. We shouldn't see your doggone cellulite. We shouldn't see and it's like, girl, now you was bold enough to wear them darn on leggings down to the graduation. You should at least darn on got your lunges and squats in. Why your darn on legs looking like tacky? And then you had the audacity to have some bright purple on as well. Now this is just a hypothetical. But just for somebody who might be bold enough to wear some leggings underneath your darn on graduation gown, honey, the least you can do is make sure that your legs are toned. Your legs shouldn't be darn on jiggling like darn on jello and no darn on leggings, baby. Make sure you get your darn on squats, lunges, and deadlifts in. But needless to say, you should dress as if you was in school. That would be my darn on rule if I was to be able to pass it through Congress. That there should be no more restrictions, like even down to the tie. Like really, we're darn gonna saying that the tie has to be a certain color. Oh, your dress has to be black. You got to have pearls, and we ain't doing nothing that warrants that. Like this is fucking ridiculous. They sent me all the way back for a fucking belt that was blue. You would have thought I came up in there with a bedazzled bright sky blue darn on belt. My shit was a dark blue that can pass for black. It's like you had to literally be looking at it at eye length to even tell it it's black. Now, mind you, this is 2012. The best camera out on the market is like on an iPhone 4, a Samsung Galaxy S3. Samsung Galaxy S4 wasn't even out yet. And even that phone is not even equipped to zoom in to even darn gonna tell the difference from over 20 feet away. So I'm trying to figure out why in the hell did I almost did not make it to my graduation to walk simply because I didn't have a brown belt. It had to be brown or black. Fortunately, my darn old cousin in the car, he had a brown belt. A brown belt that never got seen anyway because it's under my darn old gown. You see the darn on bullshit that we're still dealing with the graduation where I almost did not walk because of a motherfucking brown belt. A brown belt. Let that darn on sink in. Y'all is storming out. It's getting ready to storm outside, so y'all might hear a little bit of thundering. But I still can't get over that years later. And then to find out that people are still going through this in 2019 is fucking ridiculous. Like I said, there should finally be some legislation passed that, number one, forbids people with texture hair from being discriminated, all textures in general. Like I said, if that darn blue hair and pink hair can darn walk down and they here because that's not necessarily seen professional in the workplace to have darn unicorn hair. So don't come to me talking about my hair is not professional. Because it's not about professionalism. Because if it was about professionalism, you wouldn't have the darn chick with bright blue and pink hair going down the darn graduation hour. If it was about my hair being too big, you wouldn't have the Latina with 3A, 3B hair that has the same length going down the graduation hour. You only singled out a certain group of people within a certain race, within a certain type of hair. But then you're going to make it seem like it's for everybody. And then you're going to single out a darn belt as if I'm wearing a bedazzled darn belt. And like I say, even if I was, what the fuck does it matter? Because my thing is, if my gown ripped, that's going to be shocking enough anyway. But I don't think nobody's wondering to the extent of what is underneath your clothes. As long as it's as appropriate as if you was walking into the schoolhouse. So if that bedazzled belt was appropriate if I was motherfucking walking in school any other day, why is it not as appropriate if I'm walking to graduation? Like I said, you're not darn ever putting us in a situation where we have to darn take the gown off and you see what's underneath. Now, I can understand if we did a formal picture and we had to be in a suit and a tie and all that, but y'all don't do none of that. The children walk down the aisle, they get they make-believe darn diploma because you hold the shit unless they do something, if they do something wrong, you use that as leverage. So you give us a blank piece of paper as we walk across the stage, then we collect our diploma after everybody done walk. So my thing is this, if somebody stepped on my darn shit, if I'm dressed like this, it shouldn't be no problem. My darn pants are above my darn ass. I'm not, well, hell, I'm flatter than Lupita Nyong'o, so I can't show no cleavage. But if I had some boobs, honey, this ain't showing no boobs or nothing. And I feel that every darn a girl or boy graduating should darn not have to darn be subject to wearing a blank darn suit. Because even the color of the suit, you can't be colorful. It's like, why does it matter? If somebody want to come in looking like the representative for Pepto-Bismol or Sprite, if somebody was chocolate and wanted to come in with a bright green suit on, what does it matter? Because 9 times out of 10, what is the chances that somebody is going to accidentally step on his gown for any part of that to even show? So it's like we're only talking about a hypothetical of a situation where less than 10% of this happens. Because we have not yet to see any footage of anybody's gown slipping or being ripped. But in the let's say less than 5% of cases, if it ever happened, why would you need to be in a full-on suit? My thing is this: as long as you're in school-appropriate attire, that's oh Lord, there it go, y'all. But like I said, if you are in school-appropriate attire, that's the only thing that should matter. Or maybe I'm being wrong on this. I love to know y'all opinion. Me personally, I feel that if you're in school-appropriate attire, it shouldn't matter. So if you have a bedazzle belt on, skinny jeans, a regular shirt like this, or coochie. Damn, did I say coochie? What's the darn on COOGIE? Coochie? Okay. Coochie, fat farm, baby fat, Roberto Cavalli. It don't matter. High end, low end. If you had a regular Hanes top on. Now, I understand for obvious reasons you don't want to come in with a tank top number. So to my women, yeah, we don't want, and guys, you don't want to come in with that. Like I said, because this is not school appropriate. You wouldn't come in just with something like this. So I understand that. Like I said, it should be restricted to school appropriate attire. It shouldn't darn gonna be like if you was going to a formal dinner. So I want to see legislation passed where it puts more of a less restriction on clothing for graduation. Where if you want to dress up in a suit, you can have free reign to dress up in any color that you want. Whether it's bright yellow, green, Easter bunny green, purple, rainbow. Just be careful. No, strong political affiliation. So no, LGBTQ that's directly stated. But if you wanted to do rainbow, okay. Because if you do a strong political affiliation with LGBT, then that gives people free reign to do like abortion and, I'm a proud leftist, I'm a proud alt-rightist, or I'm a conservative. And it's like, no. Once again, that's why I say school policy is best because it forbids any darn gone, possible debate. You don't want no darn gone atheist going at somebody who's, talking about all atheists. You don't want none of those things happening. Because what will happen is you have somebody with the LGBT pride shirt on, and then you have this darn gone Christian bitch with her darn gone shirt talking about all gays going to hell. You have this person talking about he's a proud liberal. Then you have this person talking about he's a proud conservative. Make America great again. So to prevent all those darn gone back and forth tensions is like, no. Just keep it non-political. You can wear your different shades of purples and blues for the transgender community. You can wear your rainbows for the gays, but leave it at that only. But anyways, those are my thoughts on that. Y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. Do y'all think they should still keep it as what it is as far as the attire? Now, we can all agree that hair shouldn't be discriminated against. But as far as the attire, I know this is going to be more the debatable question where some people think you still should be dressed in some form of a suit. I'm a little bit more liberal on the situation. I think there's no explanation warranted to say why you should be dressed up in addition to, because you're graduating in the summer. And you got to realize a lot a lot of us are in the South. I'm in North Carolina. So it's like you're putting this darn on gown on me. And I got to have a full suit on or a dress underneath. That's a little bit excessive. So you got to think that not all of us are in Chicago or Ohio. Some of us actually have humidity. In North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, we have darn gone hot humidity. So factor all of that in. And sometimes we are all not graduating in a place that's well air conditioned. We're not rehearsing all the times in a place that's air conditioned. So you got to factor all of that in consideration. So once again, taking all that in consideration, do you think that we should still be forcing people to dress up in suits? And even if you did, do you think the suits have to be restricted to any color? Because like I said, if it's professional enough where you can go in a church, why in the world you forbidding it because it doesn't look corporate? Because once again, this is a graduation. This is not like you about to go into a darn on IBM board meeting. So why is you penalizing a person if they come in with a pink suit on? or if they come in with a green or a purple suit, if they come in with a rainbow tie. It's like, once again, it's graduation. They're not going into a board meeting where everybody's dressed, it's supposed to be dressed the same. It's like, no. And let people darn gonna be themselves and express their differences with their darn on clothes. And it's like, you're not even seeing it unless somebody accidentally darn gonna step on your gown anyway. So cut me with the bullshit that, oh, we can't have too many people looking different at graduation, because I highly doubt that everybody's gown is going to fall off where you're going to see what's underneath it any damn way. So in the worst case scenario, you might have 2 or 3 people out of what, 500 that darn gone might have a darn gone slip up. That's it. So for those, so since the case is so low, why we have to darn gonna make everybody look so uniform? I don't understand. Like I said, I think you should be able to wear any type of suit or dress that's appropriate that you want to. Wear a red dress, wear a green dress, as long as it's no areola, no boobs. It's within the length of your not 4 inches above the knee or higher. You're good. Or if you don't want to wear any of that all together, if you want to wear a plain white shirt and some blue jeans, as long as it's not sagging, like once again, nobody's going to see it anyway, but just in case your thing slips, once again, your pants don't need to be slipping out. So hence why you should have the belt of any kind that you want to, and that keeps your pants secured for both my, guys and my, lesbians that like to sag as well. Shout out to my darn gone masculine studs, honey. Everybody. To my guys who wear they freakum dresses, not the transgenders, but there are gay guys that wear dresses too. If they wear a dress for graduation, they abide by the same standards. But once again, what are y'all thoughts on this? As far as the attire, as far as the hair, and what do you think? Do you think it's about high time that some government legislation get passed, as far as I think it would have to be in the Senate. Yeah, the Senate deals with bills on this level. Because I don't even think we should even leave it up to the individual states at this point. Because like I said, it's just too much of an epidemic nationwide where we just can't leave it up for every darn county. Because then, in addition to the states, you have it separated by counties and superintendents. It's like, no, just make it nationwide. Just like you made the hair nationwide, nobody in the workplace can be discriminated against based off their texture. I think it should be the same as far as walking down the aisle for your graduation. Nobody should be discriminated against because they're wearing a beige suit. And it's like, reminiscent of President Barack Obama. You can excel to the highest level in office as a black person. And they darn gone felt the need to call him out because he was the first one to wear a beige suit. Michelle Obama was the one that wore a blue dress that showed her arms. But, we don't say nothing about the darn gone current first lady who was a former porn star. So to prevent all these double standards, leave the darn gone attires alone. And let people darn gonna wear whatever they want to, that as long as it's appropriate, and like I said, by school standards. Y'all leave y'all thoughts down below on it, and I'll see y'all soon with more videos.